Welcome to Put This On, Season 2, Episode 30, The Dirtiest One of Them All, where we watch 90s House, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz. Sitting to my right is...
Max Martin, author of I Want It That Way.
Sitting to his right.
Robert Kitts.
Sitting to my left.
Harrison Hoffman.
Sitting to his left.
Is James.
I hate you, Max.
Okay. 90s House. I expected it to be worse than it was.
Me too.
That's about the best thing I can say about it.
I expected it to be unwatchable.
Yeah.
Same boat.
All of these
Can't believe we made it through it.
are garbage.
Prince is not garbage.
He's the
kinda
most
is.
garbage of them all.
Prince Carter?
Yeah.
So,
Did you see the attitude he was giving when he
Okay,
first showed up in the
I
house?
can't believe
Slow
Chris
down,
wasn't
slow
cursing
down.
at the TV during this movie. So that, they did something okay.
Let's slow down. Harrison.
we got introduced to this show because there were a bunch of commercials for it, padding the challenge.
Harrison, we gotta stop watching every show that gets advertised to you during the challenge.
It's just they're so good at advertising, but every time the commercial would come on, I was like, "There's no chance I'm ever gonna watch the show. It looks unwatchable." So when it came up for the pod, I was unhappy.
I have some funny news for you.
What?
That's not how I was introduced to the show's existence.
Oh, really?
I was flipping through a dating app, and I came across one of the people on the show on that dating app.
Is it the person
Oh,
who's
yeah,
from
the one
Seattle?
from Seattle?
Are
Yeah.
you serious?
Hold on. Okay. I could swear I sent this out.
No, you
Definitely
Oh
did
my
not tell
God.
anyone that.
oh,
Did you swipe right?
Oh,
No,
man.
fuck
so
no.
Are you
great
kidding
that you saved
me?
this for the pod.
You gotta do that just for the
You didn't
story.
swipe right on that, and then you
Oh
watch the
my
show.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, okay. Wait,
Harrison
time
looks
out.
like in pain right
What
now.
is
Now that you know who she is on the show, would you swipe right
Are
if
you
you
fucking
if you gotta go
kidding
back?
me? Hell no.
Really? You wouldn't do it just
That
for the
is a
story?
hell no. That is a hell.
Oh yeah.
Man, I think it'd be
No.
insane. It would just be entertainment.
Well, now I know what James's type is.
Dude, that would just... I'm not trying to date that girl. I'm just saying it would be highly entertaining of a date.
Yo, just boot up Tinder. Just, you can find her.
I can't
Oh
believe
my
it.
God.
I cannot believe it. Should we explain what the show is?
Yeah,
and
I
then,
was like,
and then
you gotta give me this description.
I do want to get back to this Tinder thing, but maybe we should explain for the listeners what the show is really quick.
Hit us up.
Okay.
Man.
90s House is a competition show that places 12 millennial housemates in a 90s inspired house and forces the young adults to officially unplug their modern day devices and party like it's 1990. With only the technology, catchphrases, and fashion from that decade, each episode, opponents will face elimination by competing in various 90s themed challenges. The raddest contestant will win $90,000, a Mazda Miata, and tickets for two on board the Ship Hop I Love the 90s cruise. In case you weren't already sick of the 90s from being on 90s House. That's 90s House and MTV.
I feel like this is the first piece of entertainment that I've seen, other than VH1's I Love the 90s, something set in the 90s. There's a lot of stuff set in the 80s right now, but there's not a lot of stuff set in the 90s.
Yeah, we're not far enough. Maybe we're just not far enough away from the 90s for it to make sense to set things there and have them feel too different,
I mean, this person in the show was 29, and I'm like, so you were in the 90s. You have an advantage over this person that was 23.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You don't even, when you're 23, you don't remember anything of the 90s.
Rob, would you like to take this?
What?
I went and looked at my message history.
Okay.
Now that I see it, Max definitely sent this out, apparently on September 8th, that he saw one of the cast members on Tinder. Should I swipe right?
You didn't take a screenshot of that Tinder.
Nope.
You kidding
Yeah, and
me?
then James said you have to swipe right for the team.
See? There you go.
You said it, yeah.
Oh, I apparently did.
Oh, he did.
I said, y'all take too long to respond, so I already did.
Was it a
Great.
match, though?
I
Apparently
seen
not.
nothing.
Oh, no.
Do you have a
Probably-
chat history on Tinder?
That's not how it works.
Damn it.
I'm glad you swiped right, Max. You did the right thing.
Oh boy.
Good call.
So, yeah. So where to start with the show?
Where
Where to start?
Can we start with the commercials? Because they were so bad for this show.
No.
No, not the commercials on the show. The commercials
Oh.
for the show
Oh.
that we've seen several times on the challenge.
Yeah, all the commercials look unwatchable.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would watch this show.
I can't believe we did. We debated it.
I can't
I
believe
can
this.
believe
I can't
it.
believe this show exists. The entire premise for the show is that they're going to go and try and live like
'Cause-
they're in the 90s.
You get all these cheap celebrities from the 90s. That's really why this exists.
They're definitely parading the cheap
They just-
celebrities
they
through.
got Lance Bass just sitting around not doing
He's
shit.
not doing
The
anything.
show is hosted by Lance Bass and what's her
Oh.
name?
I have no idea.
Christina Miliani.
Christina
Who's
Miliani.
really like, I
Have,
would
like-
say, C-level celeb right now.
So Max, did you know who that was?
Yes.
Because they're like, it's Lance Bass and other person. And
Well,
I'm like, I don't know who that is.
I mean, I didn't know by sight, but when they said Christina Miliani, I was like, oh, her,
recognize
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Well, they showed
name.
like the album cover or something too, like one of her albums.
Yeah, they mentioned her single, her hit song. Or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
Which I don't remember what it is now.
Scraping, not the bottom of the barrel, but like scraping on the sides. You don't want that gunk.
Like Lance Bass.
You want that cream.
Lance Bass definitely above her.
Oh, no
but
doubt.
he
For sure.
is a terrible host.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, he's-
I think
is
that
he just a bad host or he's just mailing it in?
Well, I'm not sure that he's mailing it in, but I think that he's trying to really play up this 90s cheesy vibe a lot is kind of what it seems like.
It doesn't come across well.
I've seen far worse hosts.
Yeah, it's not
Oh.
great.
Victor Cruz, maybe?
Victor Cruz is not
Victor
good.
Cruz.
What if Victor Cruz was hosting 90s House?
He would have
Why?
been like 7.
God
I
damn
don't. I mean, I'd have to say that would make the show worse, but I don't know by how much.
Would Victor Cruz be wearing the same overalls that Lance Bass was wearing?
He has to. It's the 90s.
Okay,
He's
what,
wearing MC Hammer pants.
I have a question about the host thing though. What year was Ludacris real big in?
Definitely,
2017.
definitely not
No,
the
no,
90s.
no, no, no. That's like redone Ludacris, but like Luda, like back in the day, Luda.
I want to say
Was it 90s?
Post 2000.
It's definitely in the aughts.
Damn it! I was like, he'd be a way better host for
like
this.
Move Bitch Get Out of the Way,
Right?
as made famous by Ludacris.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to say 2004.
Seems
That's
about right.
same- yeah. Damn it! I was really
But wasn't
hoping
he in the Fast and Furious movie?
he was
not-
in. No, that was Ja Rule.
Oh, okay.
Ja Rule would be something. Exhibit? Can we get Exhibit on the show? He's not. Is he still doing Pimp My Ride?
Maybe.
Yeah, that would have been good. You pull some of the '90s celebrities from MTV
Right
to
into
be
the thing.
your host.
I'm definitely surprised there aren't more references to 90s MTV shows in this thing.
I think there will be. I think they might get pretty meta on the show, I feel.
yeah.
I mean, I don't see it happening, but I think could.
They
So-
have to make like 10 episodes of this fucking thing. 11.
So it seems like as they're rolling up, the premise is that these people don't know that they're about to go live in a 90s house.
That's
is
not
is
true.
what you're supposed
They
to.
knew that.
But like that's the premise and like what you're supposed to believe. And it seems like the way they're talking about, like they think they're about to be going into some kind of challenge house to be like in some
I
kind
feel
of
like they
competition.
knew they were signing up for some sort of Big Brother.
They may not have known that it was going to be 90s themed, but they knew they were going to some house with some theme.
Right. Like I'm not convinced that they didn't know it was 90s.
No
themed.
one was surprised when they rolled into that house.
Well, because
the only way it seems like they didn't know was because of the confessionals,
like I think
which
that
could have been
they
filmed
were,
before they went to the house.
They must have been sitting around for a while in that house before they filmed that scene with Lance. Before Lance was ready for that scene, so they're looking around and seeing all this 90s
You
shit.
walk
like,
into
they
the
probably just
house,
talked, yeah.
it says 90s on it.
Yeah,
it
so
says 90s.
I'm sure like as soon as they walked in, there's like, oh, we're on a 90s theme show. Like, and then
but
we
no
didn't
one
see
seemed that like surprised when in their initial like going into the house.
I mean, if I walked into this house and I didn't know, I would see like 90s house and I'd be like, oh, weird.
maybe I feel like some of these people are definitely gonna ham it up and be like, "Oh my god, it's the '90s house."
So anyway, since it's episode 1, like they have each person walk in and you get a little bit of their casting video and like, you know, one person's a person and this other person's a male stripper and another
Max's
person
first description there.
and another person's like, you know, some sort of beauty queen with a bachelor's in science and all this shit.
They're just a bunch of whatevers.
Just a bunch of whatevers, except for Prince Carter, of course.
oh man.
Max,
Prince
tell us,
Carter.
tell us a bit
definitely
about Prince
winner.
Carter, Max.
Prince Carter, he's from Atlanta, Georgia. Prince is not his birth name. He is extremely flamboyant and fucking lives for it. It's great.
He's an amazing character.
Like, I would never watch this show again, but if I ever did, it would be for Prince.
For sure.
Really, he seems such a douche when they first came into the house.
Well, everybody else on the show fucking sucks.
Like,
yeah, everyone in the show sucks.
he's one of the only interesting people on the show. Like, everybody else is just kind of whatever.
Right.
He's actually interesting though.
He doesn't seem as fake as some of the other like things that are going on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, some of these characters like just feel like they're just hamming it up, trying to play into some type of like role. Whereas like this guy, I feel like that is that guy.
That's who he is.
That is
Like,
his
that's not
life.
a character. Like
Yeah.
he's just that's him.
He's Prince.
It's him being him.
I think
which is
both
alright.
things are true. That he is both a real jerk and the only interesting character on the show.
Yeah, it can definitely be both.
And who else is there? There's also
There's
Trey
the
Vana.
Yeah, and then the
Trayvana,
Oh, God.
aka your Tinder match,
Not a match.
not your Tinder
matched.
possible match.
Yes.
he swiped right.
From Seattle, Washington.
She's a mess.
She's a mother of a 4-year-old
Oh, boy.
who's really banking on 90s House to come through for her here to get that payday.
She's a mother of a 4-year-old showing up on this MTV show with like a see-through mesh top.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta do you.
I guess.
I feel like she might be on the show for the brand new '90s Mazda.
Oh yeah, I could see her trying to
I
drive.
don't
that Mazda.
understand how it's brand new, but
Uh,
it's brand new.
I can answer this. Mazda did a refurbish line of these in I think 2013 because it was like the 20 or 30 year anniversary.
They refurbished
Is
like a
it-
1993 Mazda.
Or like they had
they
some like
repurposed
unfinished chassis and they
Yeah.
like had a bunch of leftover parts and they just like threw it all together.
We got all these Miata parts laying around for 20 years. Why don't we just...
Yo, there's
30
literally like a DeLorean company right now that makes new DeLoreans from like old parts from the 80s that never were put together.
That's crazy. That's insane.
I've heard about this.
If you
It's kind
ever-
of intriguing.
If you ever want to hear more about the DeLorean, it's a hell of a story. I'll tell you about it anytime, but not on a podcast.
Okay.
I do feel like
Some sort
if
of
there was
After Dark
somebody on the
podcast.
show that would be like love to drive a DeLorean, I could see Rob doing it. I was throwing it out there.
Oh,
Like,
this
I feel
show. I
like
thought you meant on 90s House.
Oh no, I feel like I could just see you like driving that DeLorean into work and like be like, oh yeah, he's driving the DeLorean.
All right.
It'd just be great.
If you had to pick someone on the show who would probably want to drive a DeLorean, who would it be?
This is a dumb question.
There's a right
Let's get
answer to
back
the question.
let's get
There's a
back
right answer to the
game.
question, Chris. I'm trying to introduce the cast.
Oh, I thought you meant in the podcast.
No, in the show.
In the show.
In the show.
I don't know
Chris.
anyone's names
It's
on
the
the show.
nerdy
It's
dude.
definitely
the
Mark.
nerdy
It's gotta be.
techie
I was gonna say the
guy.
nerdy guy didn't know his name.
So that's interesting thing that like when they tell them in the 90s House, they have to give up all their modern technologies, all their cell phone stuff, and Mark has like 100 gadgets on him, but like they did these shots of them all seeming really like annoyed / saying goodbye to people. They did not show Tivana saying bye to her daughter as one of the things. She just like throws that phone in the bin. She's like, I'm good.
See ya, Chuck.
I'm on vacay.
Man.
Wasn't-
But also didn't Mark like he was like all like distraught saying like he's got to adjust his strategy now that he doesn't have access to his gadgets.
He did say that.
And I'm still confused by what he thought I'm confused
What
what
do
he
you
was
think
thinking.
he could have been referring to?
No idea. He
Like-
had like a laptop, some Snap spectacles. He had a
The-
phone on a selfie stick.
the selfie driving thing. I don't know what that's called.
He had
The
a-
motorized
Hoverboard.
Oh, yeah, hoverboard. That's
Hoverboard.
Like he had all this shit.
The producers just told him to bring it. Like,
And
But,
then-
but in the confessional he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna win now with all these gadgets.
yeah, because the producers told him to say it.
That's fair.
Maybe.
I also like that they had to ask him to come back and like you forgot to take off your smartwatch.
Yeah, you definitely forgot. Well,
Dumb.
Dumb.
it was great how there was like a little cutaway to like oh man, see he's already scheming. I got my eye on him. It's like he just forgot to take off his watch because he wears it all the time. It's not like it's some
His watch,
evil
yeah.
plan. Like somebody's gonna notice in 2 seconds anyway.
He just wants that Mazda Miata.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the real win here.
The Mazda Miata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris, if someone offered you $90,000 or a Mazda Miata, which would
Oh,
you
it's gonna
take?
be brand new though. I
Brand
don't want
new.
no used 1990s Mazda Miata
No,
here.
brand
I need
new.
a brand new 1990s Mazda Miata.
No, brand new. You have the choice of one or the other. What do you take?
I mean, obviously, I'm taking the money, but
Are you sure?
if I'm a character on this show, I pretend like I want that Mazda Miata.
That refurbished Miata is nowhere near 90K. I would say maybe 50K.
Buy the Miata and get some extra cash.
Maybe if I kept it for a long enough time and it was still new, people want those classic 90s cars.
Collector's item.
There you
Antique.
go.
It'll be an antique at some point.
Maybe it is.
Someone will pay you $1 million for that car.
Yeah.
$1 million. It's an investment.
It's a great investment.
But then I have to pay taxes on that, and I don't know if I want to pay taxes on that. At least the 90K, you can just take the taxes off the top.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you definitely would have to pay taxes on that car.
I think
That'd be funny.
I think the only other character worth talking about is like Shay.
Shay. Yeah.
She's kind of annoying.
She's a little sassy.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to deal with that shit. Oh, but interesting thing about Shay is she's already playing dirty.
Oh yeah.
And someone on the show definitely called her a snake, and she clearly does not like snakes, as she repeated time and time again.
Indiana Jones.
Dude, was that not Seattle Girl?
That
who
was
sang
Trayvana.
about snakes? Yeah,
Trayvana.
Trayvana was the one who was yelling about not liking snakes.
Like,
It's three
no.
times.
It was great.
3 times she says, "I don't like snakes."
I don't like. There's too many snakes in this house. I don't like snakes.
Ooh, Chimama.
Jesus.
Went to confront the other crew, backed up by the prince himself.
That was when they were walking, and it was Trayvana and the Prince. Like that's a spin-off show right there. They should just
Oh, yeah.
they should greenlight that show immediately.
They're on the next season of that challenge.
Just that still of the two of them standing there was amazing. I want that
They
show.
definitely seem like a good duo.
Yeah, I like it.
Who's a good duo?
Trayvana and Prince.
Oh yeah.
It's Trayvana and Prince explore the streets of Seattle.
Mm.
I don't know.
Is Prince going to be the new father?
Oh.
Maybe that's why she's not responding to her Tinder matches anymore.
Oh.
Teen mom too.
Maybe.
She's not a teen
Dude,
anymore.
I can't believe you didn't match. Oh man, it's too much to even think about.
Max didn't get the attention of Trayvana.
Yo, we gotta get. One of us has to match with somebody who's been on a show we've seen.
Oh man,
Well, that'd be too
Well,
nuts.
if they had Twitter handles, then maybe.
Maybe
everyone
I'm sure
on
they
all
have
these
Twitter
shows.
Maybe if they
are
had
on Twitter.
emails.
If you could reach
They
out
don't
to
show it on the show though. I'm not looking it up.
They gotta show
I'm
us
not
those
going to take
emails.
2 seconds to look it up,
Definitely
so I can
not.
message them to try and
So-
go on a date with them.
One person on the show was like a 90s, like he sold vintage clothes from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes.
An apparel seller.
And like they clearly picked him because it was the 90s house.
Yeah.
Who was that?
He was really boring and
Great
did
question.
nothing.
I have
I have
fucking
no idea who the fuck is.
Once they all changed clothes into the 90s, I think I lost track of a couple
I had
people.
no idea.
He was like sort of older looking, blonde, dirty hair.
Who the,
So
who
he
the hell
wasn't
was the other
the
team
one-
guy
was
that
he
put
on?
on the wig?
I don't fucking remember.
So you must have been on the.
I think he was on the losing team.
Oh,
Oh,
was-
no, he was a
No.
loser.
No, he wasn't the dude who was standing there on the bounce pad being like, I don't think I should be
So
on this
he was
bounce
the
pad.
other guy in the losers.
Yeah.
Who actually won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who was the guy that was like really falling for that model?
That was
That
the
was the
stripper.
stripper.
That's Chase.
Yeah.
So we got to reference the fact that there's a very kind of creepy vibe going on where the model, where the stripper just keeps making inappropriate references to how he's like scoping out the model and stuff, and it's not great.
Oh, it's definitely not great, but yeah, it's definitely not great.
Dude's fucking thirsty in like not a good way.
It's not great.
He's crushing hard
Yeah.
in the wrong.
He was
way.
standing there watching so creepy when they were changing in that one scene too.
Yeah, I know. Like
That
they're
was real
changing, and
creepy.
she swiftly says, "Hey, can you look away? I'm changing." And
he's
he's
like-
just staring at her butt.
He's like,
He's 21. He's probably still going through puberty.
Oh,
So-
yeah. We're very close to a very special '90s house where the '90s learn about sexual harassment.
oh man.
Oh, I
Are they going to
can't-
have to have
oh.
a special discussion about sexual
Are
harassment
they
after
gonna have
the
a
show?
Monica
again?
Lewinsky episode?
They'll bring back Mario Lopez to be like, "Hey, I used to be on Saved by the Bell. Let me tell you."
We didn't mention that Mario Lopez is in this
Oh,
show.
Mario Lopez.
For
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Mario Lopez dropped by in his lunch break to shoot this thing and immediately regretted his decision.
I think you could see the regret on his face on camera during the
Oh,
shot.
you could.
You
It's
definitely
like,
could.
whoa.
It got worse and worse, like during the whole 1 minute he was on the screen.
He had
just like,
no idea what he was in for when he
Well,
walked
these
into that
guys
house.
kept asking him these retarded questions.
It was, why were they even able to ask questions to Mario Lopez?
So all right, let's hold on.
Did
Let's
Mario-
go back to Okay, let's go back up for a second. So you get all these intros, and they have to do this challenge. Where they
Before
have
the
to,
challenge.
No. We're talking about Mario Lopez. Let me.
Well,
lead
no,
up
if
to
we're
it.
dialing it back, I want to dial it back to something else. So they make them change all their clothes. They have this giant closet full of 90s clothes. But they also say you have to wear clothes like the 90s and you have to talk like the 90s.
You have to be the 90s.
Where did they make them start talking like the 90s? I thought they were going to start like monitoring like how they're talking to each other and like coming out and be like, that's a violation. You can't say throw under the bus. They didn't say that in the 90s.
Yeah, Rob, that would have been the bomb.
So I think that this kind of ties into how the elimination of the whole show works, in that I think that I'm going to skip to the end for a second. I need to do it for a second.
Do it.
Basically, at the end of the show, Lance Bass and
Christina
Miliani make basically what seems like a judgment call on who should be eliminated from the show, right? That seems like that's what happens.
We
at the
should
end
talk
of the
about
show.
the elimination
I know,
later.
like we will, but
But-
basically they make a judgment call at the end of the show.
Just like who's more 90s.
So like I
But
think
I
that,
felt like she
I think
acted
that
pretty
the-
90s.
I think that
She's-
like the how we talk thing is a big part of that, or can be a part of that assessment of how 90s you are.
Sure.
Right? Like that's what I'm
She
thinking.
does not
I don't
talk
think they got
90s.
rid of her because she was not 90s enough.
I don't think so
They got rid of
either.
her because she was a train wreck.
Like, we gotta get.
We'll
this
get
girl out
there.
of here.
We'll get to that.
Chris is trying to get
All
it back on the
Well,
rails.
when they dress all up in the 90s too, I felt like they did a pretty piss poor job of it. Like no one was dressed in oversized clothing. Like everyone dressed in oversized clothing.
I don't know. Mark's
Dude.
jeans were real big.
Yeah, those jeans.
Those jeans are big.
You can fit two of him in those jeans.
How are those staying up? Does he have suspenders?
I don't
'Cause
know
That's
what we're
kind of
talking
90s.
about.
That's kind of,
I mean, there was a guy
Mark
with
had
a
the
jean.
giant pant jeans that were just like inflatable. They looked like there was like air pumped in them.
you mean like parachute pants?
Yeah, those.
They were.
They
I mean,
weren't
somebody was
those,
wearing
but
a
they
jean
were big.
jacket. I thought that was pretty 90s.
Yeah, the jean jacket was good.
But yeah, no, like we all lived through the 90s. Nothing looks like that. Maybe Will Smith.
Like
Seinfeld.
like
Seinfeld.
it is an extreme version of 90s fashion. Obviously, we all lived in the 90s. I don't think I ever wore anything like what they were wearing on the show.
Maybe like a ski jacket that looked like that. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, for sure. But like, you definitely, when you see 90s stuff, like that's kind of the aesthetic that people talk about. But like, people weren't dressing like that in the 90s, from like where I was at least.
No, people just looked frumpy.
Like, I never saw anyone wear anything like that in the 90s.
yeah.
I feel like
It
Boy
just
Meets.
seems
I feel
crazy.
like Boy Meets World is a great like what people actually wore in the 90s.
Yeah.
Not Fresh Prince.
Right. This is definitely more Fresh Prince.
I still say Seinfeld is like dressing in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seinfeld's
Just
90s.
everyone looks kind of frumpy.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So the challenge. Are we going to go over the challenge now? Can I talk about the challenge?
You
Rob?
can talk
All right,
about
time
this.
for the challenge update.
Okay.
kidding.
Let's
This
get the
week-
challenge.
kidding.
So
damn it! I wanted to. Ask
there's a
that.
group of three teams of 4, and they had to create a fake intro to a sitcom. Is the challenge of the week. There is a winner of the challenge, and then the loser of the challenge is then Lance Bass or whatever picks somebody from the losing team to get kicked off.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the show.
I thought that was a much more creative challenge than I thought they were going to do on the show.
100%.
I thought it was decent. I mean,
I don't know what kind of challenge. I expected it to be like Big Brother, where like there was no one getting eliminated, and it was just all these people in this 90s house.
Yo, they should have a Mario Kart 64 tournament and challenge.
oh, definitely.
That would be very 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Wait,
kind of
they
what we
might.
do today, though. So
Yeah, you know.
it's not just the 90s.
Wait, drunk driving Mario Kart or just normal Mario Kart?
Either
Just
one.
normal.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
So Mario Lopez comes in because in the morning they could ask him questions on how they should do their TV intros. That's the whole reason Mario Lopez is on the show, and the questions were awful.
Well, like, I thought he was on the show to give some advice, and then it seemed like they just decided to take questions, and I don't know that Mario Lopez was really prepared for the questions he got. It didn't really seem...
I think they had Mario Lopez on the show just to say they had Mario Lopez on the show. I don't
Yeah.
think he actually
Mario
brought
Lopez
anything
was
of
on the
value.
show to be at the commercials for the show.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at this 90s guy we got.
You know, I suspect that they're gonna have 5 minutes of '90s person every episode, and that's kind of
Yeah.
it's a better gimmick than I expected.
It was
I
less than 5 minutes. Like Mario Lopez should have
Oh,
helped judge the
Oh sure.
the
Mario Lopez
but I think Max
doesn't
is
have
right.
that kind of time.
Well, next episode, Joey Fatone is on.
Like
That's what I'm saying. Like Max is
Spoilers.
totally right. Like I bet you, it's just every episode there's like a '90s guest
Oh,
of the
definitely.
week. Like that's just what's gonna happen.
Definitely.
like the
And it's
execution
whatever.
could be a lot better,
Right.
But
It was whatever.
I expected nothing out of the show, and it gave me a little Mario Lopez.
Do you think they called Will Smith's agent to be like, "Can we get you for 1 minute on 90s House?"
They
Or did
didn't
not
even
bother?
they didn't even bother to call Will Smith.
Do you know? No, they did. They called
No.
his agent, and the agent said, "I'll give you Jaden."
Oh,
What
Jaden
about-
was in the 90s
No
though.
thanks.
What
Dude,
about
they should
Jazzy
put
Jeff?
Jaden on this show. Jaden should be a competitor on this show.
Will they have Jeff Goldblum on the show?
Will they have celebrity
Well, they have
'90s
Carlton.
house?
Carlton's
Oh, Carlton.
Carlton's going to be doing the dance in the show
Yeah.
week 5.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
He's definitely not being on the show.
Oh yeah, he's going to be. What else?
I
he
feel
doing?
like Jazzy
Isn't he-
Jeff might be on the show.
no, he's hosting something, isn't he?
Carlton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
No, I think he's legitimately hosting.
Wait, is
something.
he hosting a reality show?
I think so.
It might be a game
I
show.
think it's a game show.
Oh, it's a game show.
That's probably fine.
It's not like dancing. It's not Dancing with the Stars. It's like something like that though.
It's definitely not Dancing with the
Dancing with
Stars, I
Carlton?
can tell you.
Dancing with Carlton. Put that show on. That'd be
Doing the
something.
Carlton.
Oh man, it's just Carlton teaching everybody to do the Carlton. And he just travels
Great
there.
show.
Every night.
Every
5
night.
nights a week.
By the end of the season, you'll know how to do the Carlton though.
Nightly
Every
Carlton.
night you learn a new step in the dance.
So on
Are
a
there
diff-
that many
on-
steps in the Carlton?
Chris, take it
on,
away.
on a different tangent, I never realized that Jazzy Jeff was like a big thing because when I was growing up, so like Fresh
DJ
Prince,
Jazzy Jeff.
yeah, it was like Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff were
Yeah.
like a thing. They were big, but when I was watching the sitcom, I had no idea. I just knew Will Smith,
For sure.
and I never knew that Jazzy Jeff was like the guy that kept it kicking out of the house.
In 2003, for my bar mitzvah, my mom hired a DJ named DJ Jazzy Jeff. It was not DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh man.
What?
Did
You
she,
should've fired
did
that.
she
Were you, like,
attempt to hire the real DJ
Yeah.
Jazzy Jeff?
I don't believe so. I'm
It-
not like swimming in money.
Okay.
Did you think it was going to be the real DJ Jazzy
I didn't
Jeff
know
at
who
some
the
point?
real
Oh,
DJ
okay.
Jazzy Jeff was. I was just like, I kind of heard that name before. That's weird.
So it's like
Man.
if your mom told you and you were like really excited to get
No.
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Like
and
tell
then-
all his friends, like all Max's
I
friends,
got-
like, oh dude, DJ Jazzy Jeff's gonna perform at my birthday
Oh,
party. So
no.
That's
you
a
gotta
great
come.
90s sitcom plot idea right
Oh
there.
yeah, it is. Man,
I don't know if there's a lot to say about this challenge.
I got something to say about the challenge.
Hit me.
Go for it.
Our friend from Seattle,
Oh, Trayvana.
Trayvana, self-nominated herself to be the captain of her team.
Who let that happen?
Captain
She-
of the team that features the prince.
Yeah, which is a bold move.
Because I was like, oh man, whichever team is the prince is definitely going to be the captain. And like they're living and dying by the prince. As soon as he wasn't the captain, I'm like, she's in trouble.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so like literally the first thing they have to do is they have this envelope they have to open that has like the instructions for the challenge in it. Effectively,
I don't think it had instructions. I think it just had,
no, yeah, like I mean, like
or kind of.
it's
yeah.
like the materials that you needed to do the challenge.
Yes.
So she opens it up and pulls out a cassette tape, and she's like, "All right, here's the song for our thing." They slap him in the boombox. They listen to it. She's like, "I kind of like it. It's kind of upbeat." They write a whole thing to it, and then later, like hours later, like they waste all day on this. She looks back at the envelope.
No,
like,
Mark looks in.
Oh,
the envelope.
Mark looks at the envelope and is like, "Hey, there's another piece of paper in here that says high school. What's that about?" And then she's like, "Where'd you find that?" Like in the envelope that had the cassette in it. And then they had to redo their whole thing on a high school theme.
I'm not sure it was that long.
What was the name of their TV pilot?
Cash Money High.
So bad.
The only other thing I have to say on this is that Prince said he was an ideologist.
Whose idea do you think Cash Money High was?
Well, I think Trayvana and Prince were rolling with all kinds of ideas just based on the song.
yeah.
And then they got told, oh, you got to make it high school. And they tried to retrofit their ideas to fit high school.
That
Which is
makes
very
that makes
reasonable.
more sense because when Trayvana tried to explain Cash Money High, like wasn't really computing for
Obviously,
me.
it doesn't make sense.
She's just kind of like, yeah, it's this high school where you can't get anywhere without cash
paying.
money. And it's like,
So what do you think their theme was without the whole high school bit? They're
Just
just
cash
like
money.
cash
It's
money,
just
like
cash money.
Cash money 90s,
Yeah.
just gonna have big gold chains and
Yeah.
just be the 90s.
I bet they were
guess.
doing some kind of business thing, like because one of the teams got, I don't know if it was business workplace as their like sort of
The word, yeah.
word, and so if they'd gotten workplace, I think what they were doing would have kind of fit. But then they got high school.
Oh, yeah, and Prince. Oh man, we got to talk about Prince's getup in this. Whole
Tell us about Prince's getup.
I don't. So Prince is a large gentleman. He's a big guy, and for some reason, like he's just a large gentleman, and they're like, we're gonna turn Prince into like Miss Prince Money or something. Like I forget the dumb name was, but anyways, he's supposed to be like the old grumpy high school teacher or something.
That was not my interpretation.
Like, well, he's definitely a lady.
Yeah.
and he's like the high school principal or teacher or something.
Probably.
What's
He's
your
definitely a
interpretation,
teacher.
Max?
Well,
It seemed like he was the
just
teacher
like
of the class.
James described an old grumpy teacher, and I was like, that's not really what I took away from that.
Oh
Yeah, definitely not what I took
Yeah.
away from that. Just the
some,
teacher.
some kind of female teacher,
yeah.
but like it was just insane.
And he's got this goatee
beard and
With the
like,
nails, the insane nails.
12-inch
Edward
long
Scissorhands
green-
nails?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
It was so bad. Like it made no sense.
When they played their intro, I couldn't believe it.
I don't
could
know
not
what that show's
believe it.
about. What do you think that sitcom would be about?
It's about a high school where to get anywhere you need cash money.
So, have you seen a show called Siesta Key? It's Siesta Key in a classroom.
oh man.
oh man.
It's just Siesta Key when they're in high school and everyone's just got a fuck ton of money.
It was interesting though. Like basically, they had a bunch of time to prepare. Then they had 1 hour with a real cameraman, and they just filmed a bunch of stuff. And then it seems like MTV edited it into an actual like 30-second clip of the actual thing.
Oh, totally.
And superimposing like the title and what they told to put in it. And so like when they're like, they're like you're done their filming. We're like, what's going on? And when Lance is putting the VHS in, we're like, did they actually like edit a VHS? And it's like, oh yeah, they totally did.
No, dude.
They just put in a VHS tape, but didn't
100%.
actually.
They had a shot of them putting the VHS.
Oh no, I'm
in
not
the
saying they
VCR.
actually put it on the
Okay,
VHS,
okay.
but they actually edited a little 30-second clip
Oh, yeah,
based on
yeah,
their
yeah.
footage.
They did do that.
for sure.
Yeah, but they definitely
They definitely didn't put it on the VHS. It was definitely like a shot of them put it in the VCR, and then it was like, and then over the TV. It was, man, it was. I kind of like that challenge. I kind of like the challenge.
It was okay. And apparently next week is music videos, which is I wish it were different.
Yeah, it's
more
too similar.
different. But
It is pretty
music videos
similar.
kind of cool.
I hope that it's actual like it's like bye like some
Yeah.
real like 90s
You
shit.
got to
Yeah.
do all in sync with Lance Bass there.
Oh yeah.
One more thing on
Man.
the challenge. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking about that though. Like, if it's an NSYNC challenge, like you just have him judge. That'd be the worst.
And Joey Fatone, he's there on the next episode
oh
too.
man, that'd be So is the whole thing like they're gonna break into groups and have to do the dance? You think?
Probably.
That'd be
If they all have to learn the bye dance,
right,
and
then get critiqued by like
I
two
want
of
to
the members
see.
of NSYNC.
I want to see the Prince doing the bye dance. That'd be too
Prince
good.
already knows the bye
I bet he can crush it.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
So one more thing on the challenge was one of the teams. Part of their bit was someone was going to spill water on one of the people.
On
And then-
Shay? Was it Shay?
No, that was
Oh,
not
this is
Shay's
another
team.
one.
Yeah.
And then so like they show spilling the water, and then the model, who I guess was also like the director, is like, that was pretty good, but like when you throw the water, like do it more like this, like let's do it again. And you just see like they're throwing the water over and over, and the person getting spilled on is like shaking her head.
They
So
must have done like
pissed.
4 or 5 takes that thing. It's crazy.
I bet they did like 10 takes.
Oh man.
It was too nuts.
I mean, it was pretty obvious that the Cash Money High was by far the worst video.
Yeah.
And the way it was edited made it seem like the other video was just like slightly better. And I was like, I don't know what you're smoking, because that Cash Money High was awful.
It seems. It was-
It was so amateur.
I want to watch it again. We gotta watch it again.
No,
after this.
absolutely
Yeah,
not.
we're
I think
good.
We're gonna go back and we're gonna watch all 3 of them again.
Didn't Lance say like your video lacked coherence? Like
Yeah, he definitely said.
he's like, I don't know what that video was about. Essentially, was
and the complaint for them was like, your characters weren't different enough.
right. They just
What?
weren't popping off the screen enough.
Cash Money High was incomprehensible.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't even a con-
If I look at
it.
sitcoms from the 90s, there's no like distinct characters for each person. What, like, that's ridiculous. Like Boy Meets World, there's like two guys that are
There's the
like,
boy,
girl,
and then there's a
just
couple
like-
other people.
For a brief second, when they're introducing the challenge, I thought that they were going to be challenged to recreate some famous '90s title sequences because they were playing like the "Hey Dude" title sequence is like an example of like a good one.
But how are they going to do that? They're not the cameramen. They're not the people setting the lighting. You'd have to like.
I don't know. I thought it'd just be like, hey, like, do your best
No.
to do the "Hey Dude."
No, that was just the examples. Like, hey, we're each going to give you an example of a thing. And
No, I get
so
what
you
it is
inspire.
now, but when they were rolling it at the beginning, I thought they were going to be asked to recreate
Yeah.
a famous '90s intro.
I just don't
Should've been
understand
better, I think.
how they had to be different characters or makes characters pop. Like, how does that make the '90s at all? What does that have to do with the '90s?
I think it's just like in all those different '90s intro videos, it's always like they like feature all the different characters, like and such, whatever.
No, I got
blah,
that,
blah,
but
blah.
they're
So,
not like
so-
always distinct.
So I think
different
that
people.
yeah,
But I think that's just what they wanted. I think they wanted you
Yeah.
in your 2-second intro of your character. You should be doing something that tells you what the character is.
Right.
So like the one on the losers that won, like they had the guy kind of like with doing the workout thing. So it's like, oh, he's like the kind of more muscly into working out guy, and like that was like a really weak example, but that's what they wanted.
Totally.
Have you guys seen the 10-minute video "Too Many Cooks"?
Oh yeah,
They do a great job of that.
We're gonna
Right.
watch that after
Yeah.
this too.
We got it.
I've seen it enough. I don't need.
Oh,
to.
we're gonna watch it.
I feel like one of the parts that makes this hard is like, so there's just an audio track and there's no voiceover or anything, no speaking lines. So it's purely just you're just moving around acting, and it's like, all right, you got 2 seconds. Like,
But
that's
that is
pretty
like
hard.
the '90s.
Yeah.
Oh no, for
sitcom.
sure. But like, it's hard to like, to Chris' point, like make that like character really pop when it's just like you're pretty limited in what you, and like it's not like you have like all these destinations. You have to film this thing in the '90s house.
Sure.
So you only have like the things around you to work with. Like it's kind of.
But I think
limiting.
Dude Pumping Iron is a really great example. Like you can do something
Right.
pretty easily. You can have the nerd on the iMac or whatever.
Yeah.
He was pumping like a 1 pound weight.
That's not the point.
I know.
That's all. Hey, this isn't the challenge house, Chris. They got a lot lighter weights in
right.
this house.
This is the underleague.
I feel like some of them do want that kind of.
oh,
Some
of them are
yeah, I
pretty
think
ripped.
so. I
There-
think the
there are
one dude
definitely
thought he was
people-
on the
there are definitely
challenge.
people who are coming in thinking they're on some kind of challenge type show.
Well, I think just use the word challenge doesn't mean it's the challenge.
I understand, but like they're saying things like this, like I'm about to be going into this competition house.
It's a competition.
It is definitely a
Someone got
competition.
sent home.
I feel like
should we
one
get
dude-
should we get to the elimination?
But
yeah,
oh,
we
hold on.
can. We've
Like-
already gotten to it.
We did. But one dude
No.
was definitely like, I'm here for the challenge. Wink and just like still frame, like clearly hinting to producers.
I don't think it
"You
was a
know why
still
I'm here."
Hey, pick me.
That's the way I
Some
saw
of these
it.
people definitely seem like they'd be fine in the challenge.
Okay. Since we're there, Harrison.
Yeah.
All MTV shows are the minor leagues for the challenge.
Yes.
Who from the '90s house are you ready to see on the
Ooh,
challenge?
man. Oh, this is a great question.
Our Seattle girl, she
I
win
think
the
that
challenge?
I think she's a strong candidate.
Oh, what?
No way. No, like personality, but physically, no.
No,
She's
she-
tiny.
No, she would do bad. She would do horrible with the actual challenges, but I think the
Yeah.
personality would be real.
she does have the
insane.
personality for somebody to be on the challenge.
She doesn't like snakes, Chris. She doesn't like snakes.
How do you feel about Shay?
Shay, like I feel
And
like
we only saw like a little.
it
bit
was
of
kind of hard
everybody.
to make an assessment. For me, it was a little bit hard to make a challenge assessment on some of these people.
Well, you got to keep watching the minor leagues.
guess.
What
Yes,
about
I can
the
watch it.
Prince?
The Prince,
The Prince.
I think I don't know.
I mean,
I'll be interested to see what the challenges are on this show, to see how he fares in them, to see what he's willing to do. Like,
mean,
you know
they-
what I mean? Because that's like a big part of the challenge,
Yeah.
right?
They tried to bring the flamboyant guy onto the challenge this season. Ammo.
He did okay.
No, he did all right.
Yeah, and I feel like Prince would do really well. Like he might do really well. But
Maybe.
he wouldn't be like somebody that would get immediately kicked off because he couldn't do any of the challenges.
Sure.
But we haven't seen any proof of anybody's physical fitness on 90s House yet.
Sure.
And we never will.
He's just a big guy.
What about the stripper? I think he could be a prime candidate.
No.
I
He
mean,
seems
I guess
like
he's
a
too creepy.
real
He's
idiot.
too creepy too.
He's got to tone it down.
Yeah.
Gotta tone it down.
Like there's definitely gonna be a sexual harassment if he's on the challenge. Like,
Oh man,
Do they have unlimited liquor in the '90s house?
that's unclear.
Ooh.
There was no partying in this episode.
Well,
Yeah,
right at the
I'm-
very end, they had like a little mini pool party thing.
Yeah, but like the first episode of like the challenge or the other shows we watched, they're just like always getting hammered.
Yeah.
Like it basically seems like they've been keeping them busy since they got there, so far at least. But
It seemed like they showed up and like, okay, you got this challenge. You got tonight to think about it. Tomorrow
you
shoot.
film it.
And then at the end of the challenge, like, okay, tonight's off. You can go like have fun at the pool party or whatever.
club night.
Well, I think it's just like you
Always-
can just have the night
It's
off
always
in the
about the
house.
club night.
When they go to the clubs, they get dressed up like
What
a
are
90s
clubs
club.
like in the 90s?
There's clubs.
Same clubs?
Yeah,
don't
I didn't
know.
go to any clubs in the 90s.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Like, were they just all doing like the crisscross? Like, I don't know what's going on.
I didn't go to any clubs, but I watched Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh,
Oh.
that's a club.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so the elimination.
Yeah. Okay. Rob, you want to talk about this, right?
Well, just we talked about it and said we're getting back to it, so we should
Yeah.
close it out. So, Lance Bass and
Christina
Milian.
Milian.
Thank you. Just basically of the three teams are like, this one was the best one. You guys are chilling. And then they have the two teams left. Like, yours was the second best. All of you are chilling. And then they make the four of the team that was the worst, which was the Trevana Prince team.
I like them where they make them
Trayvon
step
and
up.
Prince.
What did they step on again? What was that called?
Bounce,
bounce
pad.
pad.
The bounce
The
pad.
What is a bounce pad?
Unclear.
I think it's you stand in there and then somebody has to bounce. They gotta
Right.
get
I think
out.
it's
Oh.
like you're on the
Yeah.
bounce pad about to get bounced
might get
out of here.
bounced.
I
Yeah.
thought like there was a thing in the 90s called a bounce pad.
Oh.
And they had one.
I thought for a second that somebody was gonna get like
catapulted?
just
Oh, that'd be
bounced
amazing.
off of it.
Right.
Like you got bounced.
Some
I
sort of
can't
Looney
believe-
Tunes action.
I can't believe that when they like sent the person home, they're not like, all right, now you got to bounce or something. Like they didn't even make
No,
that
you
reference.
you illin.
It seemed
Yeah,
it
it's
seemed like
stupid.
things
Didn't
came
they
together
say
a
you
little
gotta
bit.
bounce?
no, they said you're Illin.
You're ill.
No, it was your illin and you gotta something.
Bounce.
Maybe.
Oh, did they say you got to
Possible.
bounce?
I think they
give them
did.
a
I
little bit
think
back.
Christiana had like a bless
Roll
you.
the tape. Roll the tape.
Things kind of came off the
I
rails.
think she had a
bit.
little like, person's eliminated catchphrase, that MTV wants to make a thing and is not going to be a thing because the show's terrible.
Yeah.
You got to bounce.
And so they ask Mark who should be eliminated, and Mark, of course, says Trevana because she was a disaster.
And to
she
be
was the
fair,
leader.
you're the captain in a team challenge. You got in all these kinds of shows. There's reward that comes with being the team captain, winning. There's
Yeah.
risk to it.
And she just was like so unself-aware of how bad things had gone. Like, you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
admit when you're like, that didn't go great. She's like, it was just what we wanted, and then she's just like throwing herself under the bus.
She started blaming the,
Well, so they
the
asked
cameraman.
her too, right?
Yeah,
They're
she
like,
blamed the
hey.
cameraman. That was just
She's like,
crazy.
yeah, I don't know. Like they said that we got the shots and we can move on, and like they definitely didn't get the shots.
And then they asked Trevon who she thinks should go, and she just doesn't speak for
Forever.
like. It seemed like a while. It definitely probably was partly the editing, and then she just rips into Mark way more intensely than anyone expected.
Oh yeah,
I think just out of retaliation, like
Yeah.
on the spot, because she was like taken aback that like Mark somehow.
I think she couldn't
had voted
believe
for him,
Mark
for
thought
her.
she should go,
Right.
And you're absolutely right. And then she's like,
This-
"Well, I guess Mark's got to go because he's like saying I should go."
Right. And she gets like offended that like he is speaking untruths, and it's like, I don't know that he
She-
said anything wrong.
Right, no,
he really
she-
just kind of called it like it
she's
is.
lost her
literally
mind.
trumping, where
Yeah.
she's accusing fake news and just saying anything that seems like it was my responsibility, it was other people's fault.
She went
Yeah.
full nuclear option on the situation.
Oh, yeah.
It was like she was like you insulted me, like
and disrespected me and all. I'm
like
like,
you
really?
gotta go home right now.
I also like that she said she has so much to offer the '90s house. It's like, what does that mean?
She is the '90s. Was what she
I didn't-
said. I am the '90s. She definitely said that, and then she
Yo.
just lays into him, and something about the nerd thing goes up.
But he's a nerd from the
and-
future, so he doesn't belong in the '90s house.
Yeah,
And then what happens then?
dude starts crying right there.
There you go.
right on the spot.
And so then Lance just says they've made their decision. So did they edit out them talking to the prince, or did they just not even bother asking
Right.
the prince?
There's
Thing-
two other people
things
on this
kinda-
bounce pad.
It was so she was tearing into the student. He was crying, and then it's kind of came off the rails. It seemed like they should have kept asking people who should have gone. But then there's like, we just gotta end this. We're gonna kick her off, right? And they just booted her. Like,
I mean, it was clear that she was gone.
yeah, she couldn't stay on that show.
I do
anymore.
wonder if there was editing where like they had it, and Prince and the other girl just didn't really have anything interesting to say, and it was like, let's just cut that out and like
But
just
like,
get to it.
like
the
the whole
fourth
thing,
guy
like,
was so unmemorable that James thought it was another girl when it was really another
oh
guy.
shit! Oh, it was Chase.
Yeah.
It's Chase, Prince, and Mark.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Like-
yeah, it's just Chase was useless. He was just standing there like, I don't know what's going on.
You could
man.
have just like Photoshop Chase out of every scene, and it would have been no different.
Oh yeah.
I like how his like 2-second intro in the thing was just him dancing like a stripper with the t-shirt on. Like I don't understand. Like what?
If this were a season of the Real World, he'd be the one you'd never see on camera.
Oh yeah.
totally.
Dario.
Dario.
Just sleeping all the time. Damn it, Dario.
Wait, what? Dario?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Challenge references, Chris.
You watched
Keep up.
Challenge this week?
Yeah, I
Come
was
on.
just we were talking about Real World,
No.
so I was confused.
It
Did
was-
he come from Real World? Somebody said
No.
it. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We all
it's
know what
complicated.
we
Don't
meant.
worry about it.
I just don't want our listeners to be confused because I'm
Challenge.
confused.
There was on this week's episode of the
no,
challenge.
we can talk about it later. I'm just like,
Okay.
we were talking
what,
about
what do you want me to do?
All right.
Do you want to talk about it? Not talk about it.
Time
Talk
out.
about it?
Let's quickly run through ratings.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to say besides ratings?
Did we say that
okay.
Trayvon? Yeah, she's bounced. It's whatever.
Trayvon is out.
Shit's dumb.
I would love to interview Trayvon on the pod just because I just want to understand the mindset that she was in coming to the 90s house and participating in this thing, just because like the way she was talking about it was just like she's like, yeah, like, you know, I feel lucky to have had this opportunity to show them my 90s-ness. It was very like there was like a weird way she was kind of talking about things.
So people sign NDAs or whatever when they go on. These
No, I
shows.
know for sure.
So they can't talk about it, but
Yeah.
like they can go on like late night shows and talk about it. How
Right.
do we get on the list of approved people to talk about?
Oh, I like where your head's at.
Yeah,
Trayvon?
well,
We do the tee up,
Hey,
and it's
girl,
like you brought a
hey.
clip with you.
Trayvana,
Basically.
step one,
Yeah.
who put this on at gmail.com.
No, step one,
Step
swipe
two,
right.
swipe right on Max Whithead.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe you're still sitting in the queue.
Maybe.
How long ago was that? Like a month?
September 8th.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, you could
I-
still be in the queue.
I've been counting the days.
Did it say on her profile that she was on
Yeah,
90s
yes,
house?
that's the only
Oh my
reason.
god.
That's the only thing that profile said, if I remember.
It's just Trayvana
From 90s.
Seattle 23.
But this was before
90s
the
house.
90s house even aired.
Correct.
I can't believe it.
All right.
Man, so she's on one episode of this thing, and that's just their whole profile.
Or did she set up a Tinder profile just as advertisement for 90s?
Probably
Right.
It's
And did she do it
probably
because she
advertising.
had to? Because she's not doesn't actually want to advertise that much. She got booted on the first episode at 90s.
Well, she
House.
wants to, take advantage of
It
being
would.
on the 90s house as much as possible.
Did MTV make a Tinder profile for her
I was gonna
without
say,
her knowledge?
It seemed like it could. Yeah, it definitely seems like that, right?
If memory serves correctly, it seems like the real deal.
Okay.
The thing is, if it was MTV, why wouldn't you just match and then send him like bullshit message? About,
Sure.
like, watching
that they
90s
probably
house?
would do that. Yeah. Hey, watch 90s house.
So like, it seems like that wouldn't be the thing. All right.
Ratings.
oh gosh.
Bottom third. Top of the bottom third. It's not garbage, but it's not good.
Bottom third,
Can't believe
middle of the bottom.
Definitely bottom third. I have no desire to watch another minute of this.
Yeah.
James.
Me? So bottom third, obviously. But I'll give it an 8. Middle of the bottom.
All right.
It gets a couple of points. Like it gets a little bit of notch just for like they did an interesting challenge, which was way better than I ever could have expected them to do. But ultimately, yeah, it's just a hot mess.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the show's definitely. I mean, it's gonna be a bottom third. The show's definitely a mess, but it ended up being a lot more watchable than I thought it was going to be from the promos. Like I thought it was going to be an unwatchable show.
Thought
I
it was
don't
gonna
know.
be a new 10.
I feel like it might
And-
get more. The more drama that gets into the show, the less interesting it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, like there were some good moments. The challenge was good. We learned Trayvon doesn't like snakes. We learned a lot this show.
Well,
so
we watched episode 1 too. So like the first 20 minutes to a half hour was just intros. So what do you
Right.
replace that with at episode 2? Because there's still only going to be one challenge.
it's just gonna be a drama.
Yeah, hopefully it's the drama from like the
It's
pool
just-
night, everyone getting liquored up, somebody's some
It's
politicking
just
starts
not gonna
going.
be
But
great
like, there's no
drama.
politicking because there's no voting.
Yeah.
So, like, it just doesn't
It's like
matter.
everyone talking about strategy for this game. Like, I don't understand what they think this game is going to be because all it is act as 90s as you can so that Lance Bass doesn't decide to throw you off the show. Like, that's the game, right?
Well, make the best music video and and whatever
Yeah.
else.
You got a politic Lance.
I mean, it's certainly an option.
Or
Or what?
the other host.
Christina Miliani,
Oh.
Chris Christie?
Chris Christie.
Oh boy.
All right.
Would this show be better if Chris Christie was the host?
So I guess we can get to the challenge update, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Are
Let's
we
do it.
updating?
Oh man,
This is a big
Here's
week.
the-
I feel like.
this was a big
I don't know, I
week.
feel like every week's.
I'm
getting
trying
big.
to remember
Man.
all the stuff that even happened in this week.
Well, so was this the one where multiple people like went direct to
Yeah.
the house?
Well,
Yeah.
this is the second
time
so
this
this is like
happens.
the output of, but like
But there's another round of that.
no,
that
but
happens
like
again.
like it started in like at the end of the episode before, right? So they booted who straight to the redemption house, right?
Well, I know CT for
No,
sure.
they didn't. Didn't they start at the end of the challenge?
Oh yeah, right. They
was
started
it
with
was
the
a-
elimination challenge.
It was.
Man, we're
the-
disorganized for this update.
No, we're not. We're not organized at all.
So
I
we're
thought it
disorganized.
started.
They sent
Organized.
CT and Cara Maria in.
Yeah, CT and
Yeah,
Cara
CT
Maria.
and
But
Cara
that
Maria.
happened in the last episode.
That was last
Right, that's what I'm trying to think
And
who
then
got
and then
it
they
this one.
voted in Camilla and Leroy because Leroy had that whole situation happen.
Oh yeah, and it was the
where
whole
somebody had
burn
the
vote thing or whatever.
So
it didn't
then-
work out.
So then Leroy lost his challenge,
To
and then Camilla
Hunter.
to Hunter. Hunter's just running through people like that
Right.
dude. Yeah, it's insane. And
But
then-
interesting to note, Hunter did fuck his hand up in that.
Yeah, that
last
happened. This all
challenge.
happened last week.
Oh
Unclear,
shit, my
unclear,
bad. I caught
unclear.
up quick.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. So this one then, where did
This,
we?
this week starts at the end of that challenge.
And then Camilla beats who else? Somebody else.
Yeah,
Uh,
Camilla wins.
Tori?
Jemmy.
Oh yeah,
Jimmy.
Camilla,
Yeah.
Nobody cares
Camilla
about
wrecks
Jimmy.
Jemmy basically. So they're all in the redemption house. And there's a shit ton of people in the redemption house, and
Then there's
Yeah.
a challenge.
then there's a challenge. What was the challenge? for
This
this
was
week?
the 3X one. No, that was the last one.
Yeah, no, this is the three
yeah
X's.
yeah
This is
yeah
the three
three
X's?
X's.
Okay, so they're 600 feet off the ground, off like a skyscraper or something.
Yeah.
And there's like these beams that like walk the plank kind of style things. I don't know. It's like 30, 60 feet or something out. They gotta run and dive at it.
Some sort
and
of
each of the
pirate
X's.
plank thing.
So like in front of those beams. So after they run across it, they have to slap one of the X's. Whichever X is corresponding to the pillars that they're on, and then they fall. Those planks will fall, and so whoever falls is going to the challenge.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
the gist of that.
Yeah.
So in the guys,
No.
Hunter,
Whoever falls is
Eligible.
They
Is
get eligible to
eligible-
get thrown right into the
Redemption house.
redemption house.
right,
Right.
they're eligible, correct.
So then
and there's 2 heats each for there's 2 heats for the guys, 2 heats for the girls, right? But there's like only
Yeah.
5 guys.
yes.
So
Yes,
there's
everybody
one
goes
freebie.
once, and then if you fall off, you're eligible for Redemption House.
Yeah.
And if you're the fastest,
You get to send.
then you get to pick who's going to go in the Redemption House.
Right. So for the guys, it's Tony that falls against Hunter and Jordan, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jordan and Hunter are eligible. Or sorry, Jordan and Tony.
and then Hunter gets to pick.
And Hunter's picking because he
And
won.
man, Hunter is fucking loyal to Tony. This is one of the
Beast-
strangest
oh, new
allegiances.
development.
No, he wanted the who was the other guy?
Jordan. So he-
Hunter's
Jordan.
now part of your Tony.
Yeah, but Jordan sent Hunter into like 3 eliminations
Yeah,
and got
I mean,
him sent to
right.
the redemption.
But
house.
he is super tight with Tony, and that's a totally new alliance. It's looking
That's
pretty
a
good.
since he's been back from the Redemption House
Right,
kind of
it-
thing.
That's since Tony realized that he wasn't as tight with Bananas. As he
Yeah,
thought he
it was like a surprise, secret kind of alliance.
yeah,
it
and it's
seemed.
grown into like a whole thing now.
Well,
Right.
they're like the only 2 people left.
yeah, it's just crazy. So
Yeah.
then
So it's those 2 that are up
Yeah.
for the guys, and then for the girls who fell, it was
Camilla?
no, Camilla won her heat, and then
Brittany.
yeah,
Brittany
Brittany
and
fell. Jenna won her heat,
Yeah.
and
Kayla?
no,
It's
either Kayla or Tori.
Yeah, they hit off
yeah,
Tori.
Tori fell too. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Tori and who was the first one?
So then they threw Brittany in.
Brittany. Yeah.
No, Brittany was in the challenge. I thought.
No, Brittany was straight to Redemption House, I think, right?
No, Veronica.
Oh, Veronica was straight. Yeah, Veronica.
Yeah,
Veronica was
that's
straight to
right,
Redemption
that's
House.
right.
That's
There's
right.
like 6 females.
Sucks for her. Veronica had a good run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a tough
Right.
time
She can
coming
come
back. She's gonna have a tough time coming back versus
The
Cara Maria.
house is stacked now.
There's
a bunch
a
of people in
lot
that
of
house.
strong competitors in that
Redemption.
house.
So yeah, by this point, there's like 5 guys and 5 girls in there.
Yep.
I think they're bringing 2 of each gender back to the main.
I think they have to
stage.
because there's almost no one left. In so
The guys, there's only 3 guys left.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna do it. I like. So somebody told me during the viewing when I said this that it is not dirty enough for it to be the case, but I thought it would be interesting if the people left in the house get to draft their partner for the final out of the redemption house,
Yeah.
so they can pick whoever they want out of the redemption house to run the final with.
That was
I
definitely
mean,
me. That's not
they've
dirty
put
enough.
8 people, or no, they've put 4 people in the redemption house in the last 2 episodes. So 8 overall in the
Yeah.
last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the pace of this show was like super slow, and now they've like, oh shit, we've got to finish this by the time the lease on this fucking house grows up.
Yeah.
So like,
I think they wanted to make the Redemption House more interesting. They're just like, well, we got these people, they're not really doing anything. It's like it's getting kind
It
of
does-
old. We got to throw some new people in there and like mix it up and just let them get like real liquored up and see what happens.
The Redemption House has been great, and like I do love how they've been adjusting what that thing is on the fly. Like when the first group of people were in there, they weren't letting them go outside, and they're all losing their minds in the Redemption House. And now, as they're saying, it's basically like the real world Cartagena.
Yeah.
where like they're all just walking around the town, having a great time, living
partying.
life, just on the real world. Basically.
Like I ain't got nothing to worry about. All I gotta
Yeah.
do is think about the next challenge and just win that. I ain't got to do anything.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh man,
I'm
so that's
surprised there's
wrong.
not more politicking going on in that.
Oh yeah.
It's because there's no votes or anything that matter, right? It's just like you have to win the
Yeah,
next
but
challenge.
who knows if they both win?
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. We don't know what's gonna happen.
We don't
or
know
how
what
you're
the
gonna
rules
get
are.
out. So totally.
I feel like this late in the game, a lot of people are like sort of older and maybe attached.
Maybe.
I mean, there's definitely people that have been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, there's the shot of CT and Bananas on the roof where they're kind of chatting, and like Bananas is thrown CT in or vice versa, and they're just chatting. They're like, "Yeah, it is what it is. Whatever, man. It's just how the challenge
Oh,
works.
yeah.
Why are these people getting it all personal?"
Oh,
Meanwhile, like
Camilla.
no,
Cara Maria.
Cara Maria.
Oh, yeah.
is like super pissed at Bananas and like throwing his clothes in the pool
She
and
was
like
super pissed at what's his name, mustache
Jordan.
dude, Jordan. Yeah. yeah
oh,
yeah.
it's Jordan.
Hugo
Okay, might
McGee.
be.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to
'cause
like
Jordan claims she was bad in the finals.
right, but like
No one wants to run the finals with her.
right.
Which
She
is
was
not
very-
true.
She was very upset because she's already won a bunch of finals.
Yeah, for
She's
sure.
won a bunch of challenges, so like, statement made no sense.
Yeah, he was just trying to get under her skin, which he did. So, yeah. So
Let's get to the
so
challenge.
yeah. So then we get the elimination challenge, right? So then we have Johnny Bananas versus Derek. Yeah, which is a couple of veterans out there.
Johnny
They-
Bananas has done 0 challenges this season.
Yeah, because everyone's been too scared to throw him in. So he hadn't really been
He's-
tested.
He's a little rusty.
He is. So it's basically this challenge where you have to keep this giant spool like spinning by like basically
Oh yeah, I
by
almost
basically
really forgot
running
this.
on top of it like a cartoon character.
Well,
Uh,
the idea is that you run across it, and then you get down and you run back, and then you run across it again, and eventually it'll all spool up.
Yeah.
But you can make it way easier if you just like run on top of it or keep spinning like the longer
For
you're
sure.
on it.
Like
sure.
it's such a pro move.
It seems really hard to balance on that thing for
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
though. Like
Yo,
it's pretty. It's
Yeah, if
pretty
you're one of those
rotating.
dudes who's like one of those professional lumberjack guys that does the log thing, you could
Yeah.
knock this out in one go. It'd be so easy.
I can't believe Derek came back and like it looked like
It looked like Derek was getting crushed, and then he was just. It looked like he was just sprinting on top of that thing.
Yeah.
Like
he was doing the
just-
lumberjack thing with the feet going the reverse.
Oh, he was
direction.
definitely good. He was definitely lumberjacking.
And who was that guy? Jordan or
Johnny.
Bananas.
Johnny?
Bananas, yeah.
And Johnny is like on the brink of fainting. Like he's working so hard.
Yeah, he was.
And like he's
hurting.
about to pass out.
Yeah, he was definitely hurting.
Anyways, yeah.
That was
So,
So he loses.
Bananas
He's gone.
loses, and he's in the redemption house, and it's getting stacked in there now. And
CT.
you got
and
CT and Bananas in there, so I mean,
That's what I was saying. They were just chilling. I guess I already gave that away.
Gotta
in
maybe
the,
have two.
the rooftop talk.
yeah,
but,
it's okay.
might be.
It's okay.
And then the girls less of a
Oh,
close match.
the one girl just couldn't get over the fucking thing.
Yeah,
Just
so
couldn't do it.
You
Yeah.
have Camilla, aka the Camillionaire, aka KKK Camilla,
She millinated all over the
KKK
place.
Camilla, and
I don't. Oh
and then you
boy.
have- yeah, and
yeah. No, I guess it works. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
and then you have like this tiny twig of a human named Brittany.
Yep.
She
she just wasn't
can't-
big enough to get over it.
Yeah, it fucking sucks for her, but like, yeah, she just doesn't have that body mass.
Yep.
I feel like it also height wise too. Like
Yeah.
She's pretty short. It
So-
seemed pretty tough to get on top of that thing.
And it was like interesting for this one. It was the same setup for the guys and girls on
Seemed
this one.
like it, yeah.
Like in other challenges, there had been like slight adjustments.
Sometimes they tweak stuff, yeah.
But this one was the same, and it just seemed like it was.
I don't think
very
they've been
hard.
tweaking it at all this season.
They have been, yeah.
Sometimes there are like some things that are not as obvious that they're tweaking. Where it's like, hey, like if they have to like carry something, then like like the thing that the women have to carry is like a little bit lighter than the guys, like something do stuff like that.
There was one where they had to like break through like the holes or whatever, and there was like clearly less holes for when the girls were doing it because like it would just be more exhausting.
Yeah,
So, like, it's been subtle, but there
it
have
definitely
been.
seems like the guys on the show are way more like positioned to do well on challenges like this, whereas like some of the girls are just like kind of good at the politicking piece and like not really that good at challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, Camilla and Jenna though,
like
They're
there's
good.
definitely some. Don't get me wrong.
for sure. Yeah, but there's
like,
some that are like, I don't
definitely
know.
there's just like,
No.
yeah. What do you expect to win this thing? Because you definitely not winning.
You definitely win. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're close to the end of the season.
I have
or
no
not.
idea because nobody knows what the format
But,
is.
There's 3 guys left in the house,
So,
and there's like
so we've got Hunter, Tony, and who else left in the house right
Derek.
now? Derek.
and then who's in the redemption
Jenna.
house?
There's
Yeah.
so many people in the redemption. Like everyone.
CT,
Don't even go over it.
CT, Bananas, Jordan.
CT Bananas,
Leroy.
Jordan.
Leroy.
Leroy's definitely toasted now. He's got CT Bananas and Jordan in there. Leroy's out of this competition.
He's
And
fucked.
Dario.
And
Dario.
Dario. Okay, so getting back to the thing that we weren't allowed to talk about earlier,
Oh, the 90s.
when like basically Jemmy starts talking about how it feels like they're living in like real world
Cartagena.
Cartagena, and so they do like a real world style intro for like all the people, and then there's like yeah, and there's always the one guy who never gets any camera time.
Dario.
And then it's
the
just
shot of
Dario, and he's just sleeping, and it's like that's the only shot of Dario in the entire episode. No, and then later they do one other quick cutback where like they're all hanging out on the roof, just chatting, and then they do one quick, literally 1 second cut to Dario sleeping, and then just right back to the roof. It's
So
just-
good.
It's amazing.
I missed that.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's easy to miss because
It's
he's
so
not in the
good.
show at all.
So good.
Oh, man. And then on the girls, it's Jenna, Tori,
Jenna, Tori, and Kayla.
Kayla. It's just the 3?
Yeah, they're all. Oh no, and
4.
one
There's
more.
4.
Camilla.
Camilla.
Camilla, yeah.
Yeah, Camilla,
So they got
yeah.
the three strong in the alliance there versus Camilla, basically.
Camilla's pissed, but she's always been pissed.
And-
So what do you think the TJ dirty move's going to be here?
Well, at some point he's still got to announce the million. He's got to
Yeah,
announce
there's
the
no.
mil.
I'm surprised they haven't. They don't even bring it up anymore though.
No,
Maybe
they haven't talked about it in many
maybe they just
episodes.
Forgot about it. They're like,
Oh.
it's not. We're not doing it anymore.
I think they'll announce it once the final Redemption House is done, and they already said this is the last Redemption House challenge.
They did say that.
But it has to be.
Yeah. They can't
What if
keep
there's
doing-
another secret redemption house though?
That would be so.
Oh
good.
my god!
What if they
expect-
literally did like the real world, where it's just like you get sent to the real world house, like you get booted off the challenge show, and you're just in the real world.
No,
house.
you get sent to 90s house.
Oh, that's like the real punishment. Oh,
Man.
damn.
Oh man, I love this
That'd
like
be great.
tiered where the show is, because then
Yeah.
like you have to go fucking watch another show if you like that character. That's a really good idea. MTV,
Right.
hit us up.
hit us up.
Totally.
It's a relegation league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a
Challenge is
working
now-
your way through the ranks. Like, oh man, you started 90s house and now you're on
Oh.
challenge. That's big time.
I started in Naya's house, man. I worked my way up to Are You the One?
Right.
But had to go over to the real world for a season to actually get over the challenge, though.
So is that the ranking of current MTV shows? Like, there's like a couple.
I think
where's
I
like
think
their Teen
I
Mom
think in
and Teen
terms
Mom
of
UK in there.
challenge feeders,
Their Teen Mom is on that one.
Teen Mom is not a challenge feeder.
Teen Mom's gotta be tough though.
Teen
I
Mom
don't know.
2.
Maybe they gotta dial them in.
Maybe. So I think it's gonna be Real World, and then Are You the One? And then I think 90s House might be in the mix, dude. It could be in the
It's
mix.
only one.
There's only one season, and I'd be very surprised if there's another season.
I would be too, but I think that maybe they'll pull some people from this season. They got some good characters in there, dude. Prince on this show.
I said that there was probably some good people that could be on the chat.
Oh yeah, real good.
We'll see. I guess we'll have to stay tuned.
I don't think there's anyone.
Do you
good.
think that they pick people in 90s House because they think they'll be good on the challenge, or is it just like the people doing 90s House have nothing to do with it, and the challenge people are just like, okay, who are the people we could pick from this year?
It's a tryout.
The challenge people are definitely scouting.
We're definitely just watching minor league MTV shows. Is all that's happening.
That's great.
It was better.
It's right. That's all it is. This challenge minor league.
It's better than watching fucking Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen? I mean, it's similar show.
What about that Snoop Dogg show though?
It's
I'm
a
kinda
game
curious.
Turned out
show.
it was a
No.
game show.
Turned out. What was the name of that?
Joker's Wild.
Snoop Dogg does have a reality show though.
Ooh.
It was like filmed in 2009.
Okay. Let's
Wow.
watch that.
Not in the 90s.
Not the 90s.
Well, we are not committed to the 90s. Like we just, to be clear, we just picked the show.
Okay.
We're not
My
a
mistake.
90s podcast show now.
Are you sure?
So speaking of challenge feeder shows, are we done with the challenge, or should we move on to Are You the One?
Oh man, we should talk about Are You the One, shouldn't we?
Can I do a quick 90s house thing?
Sure.
I was looking at the list of guest stars. Just other good ones: Joey Fatone,
'Kay.
Kel Mitchell,
Oh, Kel's on the show.
Lori Beth Denberg.
Oh, Lori Beth
That's a
Denberg.
great one.
Wow.
And Salt and Pepper.
Harrison's in. Harrison's
Dude.
in.
Harrison's
those guest-
definitely going to give us this 90s house update.
I'll watch
What's
those
Lori
guest
Beth
spots.
Denberg been up to?
Nothing.
Man, that's
Yo,
that's
they
wild.
should get like Kel on the show from Keenan and Kel.
Yo, he literally just said about 10 seconds ago that Kel's
Kel
on
Mitchell.
the show.
Oh,
Were you not paying attention? Where you
You're
at?
just pulling a Noah right there.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna take that beer away from James. At
Yeah.
This point.
I zoned out. Max started talking.
All
I
right,
lost
that's
my
it.
So,
Okay.
Are You the One? Did they get a blackout? Was there a blackout?
No
There was no
blackout.
blackout.
Oh, damn.
It was a
Oh, hold on.
very close call, though. They had a very close
Oh,
call.
I think Max doesn't want the update. He's leaving. the
Max
room.
is leaving the room.
So Max is out.
I've watched through episode 3, so I can definitely talk about episode 3. I can talk about episode 4 too. Episode 3, okay, this show is starting to get a little bit more interesting.
In what way?
And here's why. Because there are all these people who are paired off into couples already, and they're like, this person's the one, we're a perfect match, we're in love forever. Like, they're like into it. Like, there's some people who are really into it, right? So what happens, so there are like a couple of people that get jumbled up. The people that went in the truth booth last time are not a match, so they basically have to break up. So they go find other people. There are a couple other people that change. But mostly, everyone stays in the same couple for the next beam ceremony, or whatever that thing is called.
Light show.
Light show.
That's what I call it.
And
next light show.
it comes back that there's only one match this time. So, like, all of these people who think that they're perfect matches and they're together, like, are basically going to be forced to break up and date other people while still living in the same house as these people. So, like, it's starting to get a little bit crazy.
Although
And
all of them are like, well, I'm the one that's really the one.
definitely, like, it's definitely, there's some of that. So now what happens? So now that people are really, like, stuck to this, like, the strategy becomes, like, if people are too stubborn to break up to date other people, you put them in the truth booth and prove that they're not a perfect match, right? So, like, that's, like, there's some interesting...
Or prove that they are and screw up everyone else.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Because in this situation, there's only one match. So if you go in, like, either way you go in there, it's, like, very impactful.
Has
right?
anyone been a positive truth booth yet?
No positive truth booths.
I still want to know what the fuck happens then. Like, you're just like, okay, so we just kick it in this house for the rest of the show?
We'll give
Like-
you the update when it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So,
crazy.
from a challenge scouting report perspective, I want to ask you, like,
Yeah.
what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for, like, just the physical, can do
Ooh,
well in
man.
challenges? Are you looking for someone that's playing the game and being strategic? Or are you looking for someone that's just causing drama and being ridiculous?
I think that there are many things as a producer for the challenge that you could be looking for.
Okay.
I think you just named just about all the things,
Okay.
right? It's like I think that like the more of those things that you have, the better challenge competitor you're going to be.
So, I got some bad news for you.
What's that?
Clinton, a.k.a. the Predator,
Uh-oh.
a.k.a. Falls Fast,
Yeah.
I don't think has shown any of these things.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think
He's one of these guys who's super coupled up and he's doing nothing. He's
Yeah.
not winning. He's not winning challenges so he can get into the truth booth.
Nope.
He's not causing any drama. He's not trying to play the game. He's just like, yeah, me and Uche, we're the one. Everyone else is wrong, and that's it.
he's definitely not making a lot of moves. He still seems like a pretty he could be a pretty good guy in some physical challenges, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
So,
who's on the top of your list?
not at near the top of my list is Michael, who I talked about last week, who is
Yes.
like clearly trying to play the game, and he's shown a little physical characteristics, like being able to win some things too. So I think he's shown a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But my number one is Euryce, I think you say, who's the one who's been paired up with Malcolm, the recovering player.
Oh,
Euryce
yeah.
is the side chick situation.
Right.
And like, I don't know how much you want me to get in episode 4, but
Okay.
Malcolm and Euryce are a big part of episode 4.
Oh, I'm sure.
And she's like, she's causing drama. I think she's shown some like she can win some challenges and stuff, but also she like is causing drama but doesn't seem like totally like, oh, I'm so in love and this is crazy. She's like still like kind of being up for crazy things. I think she's got a lot of potential.
Okay, yeah, no, I could definitely see that.
Malcolm, if he can keep it together, also maybe would be great for the comedy factor, but he just might like lose it at some point.
I think that creeping up my list for a few different reasons is the big time douchebag who broke up with that girl in the third episode. Who like that girl was just I can't remember his name. The guy with the blonde hair.
Michael, I think.
Was that Michael? Saying, same guy. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
like he's definitely towards the top of the list.
Oh yeah, no, I like Michael because Michael's like, hey, Michael's the only one who's like, hey, we got one light. All these people think we're perfect matches. We're mostly wrong. We should try to talk to more people.
The girl that he broke up with was not happy about it, obviously.
No,
but
I mean, after we watched them do the bow and arrow thing, I'm like, none of those people are going to be able to do the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the first time they got what, 4? Was it 3?
3. They got 3. So I also went to Wikipedia, and so I've seen a third light ceremony in episode 4.
Okay.
So I'm doing some.
You can do some math on it.
And like, if they were doing the math, they could be pretty close to nailing a few of these ones.
Yeah.
Because there was like, there's only a few from like the first time that you could kind of like from the 3 that you can figure out like are still going on. So I think they're not playing the game well.
So
they took out, remember they don't have pens or pencils.
Well, they're not even trying.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. Like they don't. Well, I mean, like apparently, like they used to have pens and pencils on the show.
Yeah, that's what Max told us.
Yeah,
season 1, they did a big chart, and we're trying to track all this stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, so now they're just like, you can't write anything down. Yeah, computers or anything.
Max says they took away pens and pencils for season 2.
You just have to talk about it.
But Max says they had some sort of beer can set up to try to track it in some way.
And the producer's like, what are all these cans doing over here? And they knock them all over.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think spoilers are done. Yeah.
I really enjoyed episode 4. I think it was the best one yet.
I'm looking forward to because I really enjoyed episode 3. I'm looking forward to checking out 4.
Yo, what you got going on after this?
Oh, well, ep 4.
Anyone got anything else they want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm rewatching Stranger Things right
so
now.
am I.
So yeah, well, it should be
I'm 1 episode away from fishing.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I gotta prep.
Yeah, you gotta get ready for the new season.
I'm not a huge fan, to be honest.
Really?
Like, I watched it and I think it's enjoyable, but it's not like next level like some people.
Yeah, I think season 2, they have a great setup for season 2, but season 1 was just like, it kind of seen it before.
Yeah, it's a little.
You'd seen it before.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. Like it's definitely nostalgic and like evokes other things, but like I thought it was pretty.
Well, it's like
pretty
they
well
kind of
done.
mashed up a couple stories and like telling them from different perspectives.
Yeah,
they weren't really all that unique or like I felt like the kid's story was really interesting.
Yeah,
but like the other stories were
they
were okay,
but
they weren't
good.
like.
It seems like there's a lot of. So I've never seen the show, but it seems like a lot of people love talking about it, and it's just like
that's
all
what
the rage.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I like the show,
right?
People,
so it's good, but it's not
like Westworld or Game of Thrones in my mind.
No,
like,
no,
those
sure.
two are definitely
sure. It's like
top of the line. Like those are amazing shows. The show's good.
I think like it's like for me, it's like a totally came out of nowhere 8-episode show that's like was totally surprising last year.
That's
like,
legit. It's very high quality.
Yeah.
Like it's good. It's just I wish they gave us some like mystery about the underside, the what's it called?
Upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Like if they give us some clue of its true nature but didn't really explain it, but they just don't tell you anything. They just tell you it exists and it's fucking weird.
It was like the first half of the first season is more interesting than the second half of the first season. Like I don't know, like because there's some more mystery around what's happening.
Yeah.
And then once they start kind of unwrap, I mean, I don't want James about to watch this whole thing, but maybe.
But let's go ahead and just talk through everything.
You know,
I'm not gonna
you
spoil
know.
it, but like us as the audience kind of pretty much knows what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's like the people now we're watching it all unfold with the characters on the show. Whereas, like, it was more interesting to try to figure out what's going on.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Reasonable.
Any
That's the Stranger Things update.
any other plugs?
So I started watching. Well, Harrison got me hooked on the Great Food Truck Race.
Great food truck race.
Why didn't we watch that today?
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, we could have watched that tonight.
Oh my god.
It's a way better show.
Fuck.
It's a pretty good
James,
show.
why did you wait till
future-
now to bring this up?
I just watched it last night. I'm like, I kind of don't want to watch it again. Is the thing.
Damn it.
But like next week, some time will go by. And then
Yeah, we
can
could
do it.
definitely watch it. It's a good show. I
we should
enjoy
put it
it.
in the queue. It's definitely a good show.
If you want to, if you want to watch along at home, you might want to watch some of those episodes.
Yeah.
Yes, do some homework, watch ahead.
It's on
we'll have some
Hulu.
things to talk about.
It's on Hulu.
Does
Very.
anyone from the Great Food Truck Race end up in the challenge?
Oh man, I wish.
I mean, if this was an MTV show, which it's not, maybe.
We know that's not. He was
Does
a joke.
Viacom own Food Network too? Maybe we could.
I don't know, but I
bring
can
it
see
in.
some people making it.
Oh man,
Like one of those
Food
girls from the
Network
hot
shows
dog
seems
truck.
so boring.
This one's good.
This one's pretty good.
This one's good.
This is one of the better Food Network shows for sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Like, I'm sure there's some other good, like, just good hearty food shows that are like amazing. Like, I don't know.
I'd rather watch
but-
that than The Voice.
There's the
Mm.
Great
100%.
American Baking Show on the Food Network.
No, watch fucking Great British.
I'm just telling
Were
you,
you
there's
fucking-
the Great American Baking Show on Food
America.
Network.
Make American baking great again.
Yeah.
Hey, listeners, if you have suggestions for shows you'd like to hear, you should email them to us. Hey, Chris, where can they do that?
I don't know.
You're
What
the
about-
host.
What?
What about who put this on at hotmail.co.jp?
What about gmail.com?
Oh, that one.
That one.
Yeah.
You can find us on email us suggestions or tweet us suggestions at Who Put This On. You can find us on Facebook.com/Who Put This On. Please rate us on iTunes. It'd be appreciated. And I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye forever.
Max.
Oh, we're still going.
Oh no, we're not. We'll be back.
Bonus
We'll be
time.
back.
We'll be back. That was a terrible Schwarzenegger.
All right,
This thing's still on.
I'm cutting it.
No,
I'm cut-
Schwarzenegger is
Okay,
on
I'm cutting
the
it.
back.
I'm cutting it.
There
It's
it is,
not
Chris.
will be back.
Okay, I cut it. Just kidding. It's
It's
still
not
going.
cut yet.
Oh, it's still going.
All right, now it's cut. Goodbye.